everyone, and thanks for coming. I'm very glad that you made it. Thank you, Jen Joseph, for the introduction. Indeed, my name is a bit tough for foreigners to say. My mother would call me like Bernat Agulló Rosselló. So, you see, so easy. And anyway, if you want to connect with me, and I would like you to connect with me, the easiest way is probably in Twitter. And I do have a blog, which will be going a few times during this presentation because we'll be using some scripts that I wrote and I shared on my blog, so we can see where to get them. Yeah, and yeah, it's not really my main topic, I would say. Data quality. People know me more about calculation groups and scripts and so on. But well, today there's no calculation groups, but there are plenty of scripts. So let's see how it goes. Here, today we won't talk so much about very dirty data, but there's some things that need to be taken care of. So it's not so much about extracting data from PDFs or stuff like that, but rather making sure that the data is what it's supposed to be. Yeah. So I don't know. I basically deal with three main problems. Yeah, in this presentation. The first is, can you load the data? You know, because we define with Power Query some ways to load the data, but what happens if you read from files? Then maybe the next file is in the right format, or sometimes if it's an Excel maintained dimension, maybe there are duplicates, or the data types are wrong, or whatever. Yeah. So how can we take care of these things? The next thing that we'll deal with is what they call the referential integrity, which is a very big name for saying, do you have all the values that are in your fact table? Yeah, if you have sales and then suddenly there's a sale of a product that is not on your product dimension, then you have a problem and you should know about it. Yeah, so we need a way to check that everything is fine in that sense. And then lastly, was something that I didn't do before that, but well, business have rules, you know, and maybe there's a column that should only have like two possible values, and then suddenly they send a new file and there's a third value there. And maybe you don't, but maybe you want you want to know these things. Yeah, so it depends on your situation. I'm not saying you should employ all these techniques in all your reports, but at least I think it's good to know a way to go about it if you feel like you should do it. Yeah, if the provider is sending you the data, you don't trust him very much and so on, then you can start putting this kind of checks so that you don't spend too much time finding these errors, and then you can spot them and tell him right away, please send the nice data. Okay. And lastly, you will make all these checks, but how do you make yourself aware that there is a problem? We'll also see a good way to go about that. Okay. So let's start from the beginning. Can you load it? So I follow a very simple schema here. Yeah. So when you're dealing with a Power Query, you keep adding steps. And then you should ask yourself, like, can it go wrong? Yeah. Of course, probably always can go wrong, but there's some things that are particularly dangerous. Huh? So when you combine files and you have this nice function that converts each file into a table, this can go wrong for many reasons. Yeah, from data types or I don't know, the headers and so on. Also, when you say, okay, this is a date, well, maybe it's not a date. What is there? So it will give you an error as well. Or also what I was talking about earlier, the duplicate keys on dimension tables. This is also that can be wrong and actually will break your refresh. Yeah, so we want to make sure that there are not duplicates, but at the same time, we want to know if there are duplicates. Yeah, because if there are duplicates, we need to know which of the two rows is the correct one, because maybe they have different attributes. So we need to talk to whoever is maintaining that dimension, say, hey, what happens with this product? Is with this name or that name? Something like that. Yeah, so when we reach a point in which, okay, maybe there are errors now on my table, we'll make two references to that query. Yeah. And then in one row, for one of them, we'll remove the errors and we'll keep going. Yeah, with very clean data. The errors are gone. So we just continue adding steps until we reach at least a table with something. yeah, which is going to be clean, and it's going to load always because if there are any errors, they have been removed. However, we want to know these things that I was telling you. So we'll make another branch and which will do the opposite. We're going to keep the errors. Okay, there are duplicates. Who are they? And so on. Or there are some values which are not date. Who are they? Where they are? So in a way that we can easily tell somebody like in this file, in this column with this ID, there's something wrong for that attribute. Yeah. And we'll go one step forward, and in case we have many files and so on, maybe we'd get like many little tables explaining about this error. So what we'll do, we'll combine all this information in one big table. And from there, what we'll do is create measures to see how many errors do we have from each type. Yeah, and for that, we'll use a script. Yes, let's try to do this first thing. Yeah, so yeah, because so here I'll show you very quickly where we are heading, and then we'll start from scratch. Yeah. So here, for instance, you see here I could have my report, and then I would have a button saying, oh, there are 10 data problems. And then when I jump here, I see all these little tables explaining me all that is happening. So here, for instance, we see that there's a file that is wrong. And then here there are some data in the files that is wrong. Yeah, but we get even the error message and what's the value here. You see, for example, this is not a date, and this is not a number, and that's why it's giving a problem. Okay, this is more or less where we're heading. But now I'm going to close this one, and I will start from scratch. Okay, so then let me get here. We'll start the new report, and we're going to get some data. Okay, and now we're going to get from a new source, and we're just going to use more. We're going to go for the folder, connect. Okay, browse, and we're going to go to my folder. Let me go grab this very quickly from here. Okay. Transform data. Okay, and as usual, we'll use here the contents. Navigate a bit quicker. Very good. So we can keep this one for like files. We won't load this one. And now we can make a reference here, and we'll go into the sales table. The sales files. Okay. And here we have 3 files. So we're going to just keep the CSV files. All right. So, and we're going to combine them. Yeah, this is very standard stuff. All right, let's trust that the first one has the correct format. And well, we get something. Okay, so rename columns. So here my point is that here, when we get to this point, now everything is fine. Okay. However, what happens when we put some extra data? New data. Yeah, this one. Okay, let me just close my door. Sorry. Sorry about that. Kids getting back from school. All right, so now we put some data, which might have some problem. So let's have a look. If I refresh this, okay, this apparently is working. But we'll make it, maybe because here there are no order date. Let me check. I think I forked somehow. Okay, we have this. Yeah, Okay, this was too easy, yeah? But let's imagine that we have, where is it? A transform. Okay. And pivot home. Yeah, here. Yeah, so something that will hard code the header names. Yeah. If we do that, now suddenly when we arrive at this point, rename columns. Now, okay, now we get an error. Okay. And if we click here, you see the order ID wasn't found, whatever. Aha. So what I was talking about is that, well, if we have it like this, it's not going to refresh. So what we'll do from this step on, we just delete these ones. And once we reach a point in which there's something wrong, then we make 2 new queries. Here, this will be sales, let's call it 1, or you could put like 10 or something like that in case you have to put some steps in between. And from here, we make, this is not going to load. So we just make a couple references. And then here, what we'll do is just remove the errors. Yeah. So the file 4 is not going to load, but at least we're going to get some data. Yeah. So from here, we can expand and continue doing whatever we wanted to do. Yeah. Now we see that we have some data with errors. Yeah, but we'll take care of that in a second. Now, however, we want to know who was it, yeah, and why is this an error? So what we'll do is we'll make another reference, and now we'll call this sales file errors, something like this. Yeah. So now what we'll take is here, and and then we'll keep the errors. Okay. Very good. And now we want to capture this error message. Yeah. This I learned from Reza Rak, has a very good session on this. And I'm gonna take his approach. So we'll just add a custom column, which the name doesn't really matter because we'll get rid of it. And the formula is very easy. Try, and then transform file. Just this, okay? Boom, and then we get a record, yeah? And then we can expand this record. Has error, we already know has error, we don't need this one. Okay, now we get a record. And then we can just get these 3 ones. And then we get it. Yeah, we have an expression error. The column order ID of the tail wasn't found. Yeah. But even the detail, well, we can leave it. And then actually we can get rid of this column. So we already have a table that will tell us which files failed and why, which is already a very good thing. This table will, well, at this point we would leave it loading. Maybe later we'll combine that with the other one, and then we'll just stop loading to the process, to the model. So now, what should we do? Here we see we have some errors. Yeah. So what we'll do is also we need to make 2 new branches. Yeah. So from this point, we'll call this like sales 20 or something like this. Also, we disable load and then reference. And then we go here and we'll call this first. This would be the good one. Yeah. So the one without errors. And then we could just select. Wait, now I'm not sure if I do this. Yeah, remove errors. Yeah. Okay, so it will remove any row that contains an error. Yeah. And then that is fine. So it will load. And we'll call this, well, this maybe it's already our final sales table. We don't want to do many more things with that. Because yeah, because we already set the data types there. So now if I put the data types here, it's impossible that it's going to break because we already tested that on each file. Yeah, so here, let me select this thing. All right. Is it? Yeah, take that type. Okay, that is fine. So we'll just call this one sales. Very good. And now, how can we get the errors from all the other columns? Because this is a very small table, but maybe we have 50 columns. So the approach now is we want to get the reference, and then we'll call this sales data errors. Yeah. So here the point is to get first the source. Well, the file name, we can rename this. Yeah, because let me check this. Oh, well, we can just source name. It's fine. We'll get just the whatever in the file name it is, and then some key, yeah, of that table. In that column, we cannot have errors. Yeah, we'll use that as an identifier. So we just select both columns, and then we'll do unpivot other columns. Okay. So now we have everything like this. And now the trick is, of course, to just keep errors here. So we already nailed down the problem to only those two cells. And I will do exactly the same process as before. Yeah. Actually, we could even create a function for doing that, but might be a bit tricky. Let me check. Advanced editor. Yeah. So let's give it a try. If it doesn't work at first, I'll just go and copy it. Okay. So let me try this. So we'll go for new source, blank query, and advanced editor. So basically what we'll do is so source table plus table, and then field name as string. Yeah, or as text, or is it? And then we'll just go like this. No, this is wrong. It's text. Okay, sorry. Now here we're gonna paste all this. And then our source table is this. All right. And then the select rows with errors. No, this is already, we already did that, so we don't need this one. Yeah, so once we have our table with the errors, we're gonna use this one here. And now this is the tricky thing. This was very tough for me to do because we just want a column, but only for that row. So we need to use record field. And now the record is the underscore, and the field is the field name. Oh, with caps. Okay. And now this should work. Yeah, I don't know what is happening here. I think I'm missing a parenthesis. Alrighty. So let's try this. And this is error to message. So now from error to message, then in our data sets with errors, now let me check. Yeah, we'll add kept errors, and then we'll go for error to message. Then we call our table and value is where we have our error. And let's see what happens. Whatever. Wait, transform file. Oh, wait. What is a transfer file? I'm still referring to that. Oh, this one. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Let's just get rid of this step. Yeah, probably we should do it a bit better, but and let's just this one here. Okay. Let's see now. Beautiful. Okay, we have our value. Okay, but actually it's the same name. Okay, wait. Sense editor. Okay. Let me remove this. So if I remove this column, okay, we get this thing here. So we can paste it inside and we'll be fine. Yeah. Because it's the same. Let's call this final equals this, and this is our table. Yeah. So we're working on this one. And this is not value, this is the field name, okay? We want to remove whatever was the original field name with the error, okay? And we call this final as well. And now it should work. No, it doesn't. Column value tables over 5. Okay. Oh no, but not the. Of course. Now I need to get rid of the step. Come on. And now I need to change this. Okay, we're getting there. Okay, working. Now, so we finally got our table in which we get this file for this order ID. In this attribute, we have a data format.error kind of error. This is the error we have, the full message. And this is what we found in the file, which is breaking things. Okay. Anyway, so when we have these tables, though, it would be nice to have them one stack on top of the other. So here, what we can do is select all of it. We also go take data types. Let's check. Okay, we have source name, reason, meta detail, and here we have something else. Yeah. I think we can just go and create a new. We can make a new table, just like go append queries as new. And we can here, we would select all the tables with errors. Yeah. So this one and this one. So we get something like in this, we get different names. But before doing that, sorry, to be able to tell them apart, we should add a column, yeah, to say this is data problems or this is something else. So for instance, we can just copy the table name, transform, wait, where am I? Here, custom. And then here, I don't know, error table, where we error type. We'll call this like this. Okay. And we'll do the same for the other one. We'd add a column, error type, and we'll just go with this one. Okay. So now when we go to the final table, we get sales file error and sales data errors. Yeah. And this is going to be our error table. And these two we can now live without loading. Yeah, of course, we should probably make some folders and stuff. Let's see how this works though. Close and apply. And see what happens. Yeah. So indeed, we get our error table. Yeah. Okay. So what we would like now is to get so account rows filtered by each type of error type. Yeah. So I want to know how many rows are for each of them in different measures, so I can use them anywhere. Yeah. Easily. And we're going to, so if we have them as different measures, then it's easier later to make that message that you saw. You have this kind of error, you have this kind of error, and it makes things easy because it's maybe all the data errors you want to count them as one. We have like data type errors, or I mean, it provides you more flexibility. But since we could have here like maybe 20 different things because we have different files and each file can have problems of loading or problems of data and so on, then we can use a script to make this happen. Okay. So here, as you see, I'm referring to one of my blog posts, which I have here. Yeah. So in this blog post, I talk about a script from GitHub. So even if you don't know scripting, it's okay. You just follow the steps. Here, we're just gonna copy this. Yeah. And we're going to open Tabular Editor. Okay. We don't need unsupported actions for this one. But basically, so here in the advanced scripting tab, we're going to paste this. And okay, first we need the base measure. Yeah, we need to create the base measure. And then and then it will ask us what table and what column do we want to use to create the different versions of that measure. Okay, so first things first, we're going to create that measure. So we're going to create a new measure, which is going to be basically, it's going to be errors, something like this. And this is going to be count rows of the error table. Okay, very good. We can send it back. Now, selecting this measure, now I'm going to execute this. So now we're going to execute this. Hey. A script host. Oh, no le gusta. Oh, wait. Oh, that's interesting. This works in Tabular Editor 3, but not in 2. Okay. Let me just get rid of this. I don't think I have. Script. This is something that is useful when you develop in. I cannot replace editor. What is it? Yeah, replace. Okay, replace all. Okay, replace all. Okay. Okay, let's check now. Now, if I execute, okay, very good. So now now we selected the measure, and then we need to say what table, what column we're going to use. So for in the error table, we want to use the error type column in order to generate these extra measures. And if we do this, okay, you see errors by error type. And now we get one measure, which is calculate errors when the error type column is sales data errors, and the other one for files errors. Of course, by 2, maybe it was even faster to do it by hand. But if you had like 20 different types of errors, then you would have them all at once. Okay, so you see the script is cool because it uses the data of your model to do things, which is very nice. Okay, so now we can save this back to the model. And with this, we could already start building our error table. Yeah, so this would be maybe our report. So now here, data problems. Alrighty, so now what we would do is, wait, we don't see the, I'm having some problems lately with Tabular Editor. Let me refresh the data and see if yeah, now we see everything. Okay. And then, for instance, it will be already useful to have, we can have a table and then just, yeah, I don't know, we can start with this, what is it, the source name. Okay, and then we put the order ID. Oh, well, first, no, because first we just need to know sales, wait, where is it? Files errors, yeah. So this is a table. We see that the only one is problematic. Oh, wait, we don't see anything because it's too small. The only problematic one is the number 4. But of course, we can show much more. We can show what the, wait, where is it? What's the error type? Wait, error type. No, not the error type. Where is it? A reason. Okay, and the message. Yeah, wasn't found. Wait. Okay. Of course, we can just keep making it nicer, yeah? So we have one file which failed. Okay. Good. And now for the other one, we would do something similar, but just since we need different columns, it could be a different table. So instead of this measure, we'll use the other measure. So it will show us only the other 2 rows of the table. And now we might want to see the detail. Yeah, why? Because this is not a number and this is not a date. You see? So we can give a lot of information to the user of what is going on, because this is normally a bit difficult to debug. So in this case, it's part of the report, so you're fine. Very good. How I'm doing with time? Terribly bad with time. And then, so I'm gonna go forward. Let's check the other one. Now, here we were talking about the dimensions. Yeah, can we know for sure that we have everything? So for that, I'll do like in a cooking in a cooking program. So I'm just gonna jump and open one of the steps. Sales and okay, this is okay, because in this PBIX I already loaded some standard dimensions, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna create the measures that will tell us if we have any errors of referential integrity. Yeah, the script that we'll use will go through all of the relationships of our model, and then we'll create some measures saying, okay, how many values of that column are not have a blank value on the dimension side, which means that the relationship is not complete. Yeah, so here we see we have the sales and already have a couple dimensions and our error table. Yeah, so in order to do that, I'm gonna reconnect now with the new one. Yeah. Alrighty. Okay. So, and we're gonna jump into the other script. Yeah, which I have over here. So here again, if you keep reading, at some point, here, download the script. Very good. So we're gonna copy this, and we're gonna go back to Power BI. No, to Tabular Editor. And we're gonna paste this here. And here up there, it gives us some instructions. Select the desired table to store all the data quality measures. Okay, so in this case, we need to store them. Yeah, so what we're gonna do here, well, we can create the table from Power BI if you don't want to enable unsupported actions, which is fine. Modeling, we're gonna make a new table. I don't care much about anything, so I'll just go with something like this. And dimension, no, it's called referential integrity. Yeah, just a very small calculated table. Okay, so now we have the table here. So we want the script to store all the measures here. Yeah. So actually, you can even store this script as a custom action. If you haven't seen that, we can just go and so here referential integrity. Yeah, so you need to select the table, and then even if you don't have this and you come another day, it's already there. So you go to custom actions, referential integrity. It's going to be there forever. Yeah. So you click here, and it should, yeah, and it generates a bunch of measures. Yeah, so see, so here it's going to create a measure that is like, oh, hey, how many values are in the sales table for this column, the back ID, which have a blank on the dimension side. And the same for product ID and the product table. And that will do for any other one-to-many relationship that you have in your model. I've used that in models with 20 tables, and it goes well. And the great thing is also that it will create like some titles that we're going to use now to create these detailed tables of what is going on, and even some summary measures that say, okay, if there is something on the not map ones, no, so then just use the number of unmapped titles, and then oh, and use the title that we use up there. Yeah. So this will build that, that text measure that we saw on the final workbook. Okay, so let's save this back here. See if it loads already, or we need to, yeah, okay, it's there. Good. I don't know why it's like, okay. So what we would do with this one to create the detail is like create a small table, and we need to keep adding the columns from both sides. So we would use the fact table column in the table. Yeah, this is all the values that we have, and then go to the dimension table and use the column here and say here, basic filtering, so blank. Yeah, so the back ID number 3 is not in our dimension table. Yeah, but once you have many of these small tables, then you don't know what does it mean. Yeah, so very conveniently, we're going to put here some title that it's going to be a dynamic title. And here we'll just type the same back ID. Okay, back ID not mapping sales table. That's what we want. Yeah, so here the title, if we can see it. So one back ID not mapped in sales. Yeah, and the back ID is 3. So you know that you have to take this number, go to the dimension table, add it there, and then the dimension will be complete. Yeah, and we could go on for the rest. Okay, so this is already a good thing. And yeah, all right, very good. And now what we'll go is does it make sense? Okay, so what I was talking about here is yeah, for instance, sometimes it's possible values of a field, but sometimes it's also coherence between different files. So I don't know if you have a table with all the deliveries, and then we have another one with all the sales, and it should match because, I don't know, the process is automatic and it should always happen like this. Then you can check if both tables are telling the same story from different perspectives. Yeah. So the sum of this should be the same of that, something like that. So what I'm going to do now is I'll just open it. So, and we walk over because it's a very arbitrary. Let me close this one. And let's open the other one. Where is it? File, open report. Apple deliveries, business logic measures. Okay, I think this is the correct one. I haven't mentioned that, but if somebody wants to ask a question, it's free to do it now or in the end. I don't mind. So here, what we added is like something like Apple deliveries. Yeah, so only the apples get delivered each day, something like this. And see how many orders were there. It kind of at the end of the day, it goes with all the orders that were during that day. But of course, we have the sales one, so it should have a coherence between them. Yeah, I just trying to make it out as this. So for the Apple deliveries, I create a couple measures. So here is just the sum, but then so this is the measure, yeah. So what I do is for a given date, yeah, I put, okay, what is the Apple order saying to me? Apple orders comes from the sales table, and Apple deliveries comes from the deliveries. Yeah, we didn't look at this one. Apple orders, of course, is just how many orders did I have with the product description is Apple. Yeah. So and this should match. Okay. So now we could have a large number of this. Yeah, I've been doing that, so that's why I develop a whole script to kind of create a summary of everything that is going on. So if it's a perfect world, this should be blank. Yeah, because let me show it again. So here we're checking, we're just keeping the rows in which these two measures return, or these two columns return a different value. So and then our measure is the count of rows. So if this is empty, then this is blank. Okay, but once we have defined these measures, then what we do is, since we have plenty of other measures, for the script to know which measures are actual like quality checks and which are not, we're gonna put these measures in certain display folders in each table, okay? And actually, we're going to use also the measures that we built in the other steps, because at the end, they are also quality measures, and we want them all combined in a single place. So let's do this. Now I'm going to connect to this one. Hey, okay. So well, let's go and grab the script as well, which I have over here. Yeah. I don't know. I'm not sure in which. My article. Okay, where's the script? Where's the script? Here. That's the one. Copy this one, go to the advanced scripting. And here we're going to have a check. So folder prefix is checks space and something. Yeah. And oh, and this one is a bit more tricky because it will generate also a calculation group in the process. So it requires you to already have a custom action to generate the dynamic measure calculation group, sorry. And here you have to specify, okay, what it's called. Yeah, I cannot do this dynamically like the rest of things. Let me check if I have it. No, I don't have it. So first we'll need to go, let me go to the blog. Yeah, if you don't have also, it's quite easy. You search for tool belt in my blog. And then you get this blog post. This is very convenient. Dynamic measure calculation group. Okay, this is the one we need. So we'll grab this script. We go back here. Okay, we'll have to first create this one. And we're going to store this as it should come at the model and measure. Yeah. And this is called dynamic measure. Okay, very good. So now, if I select the model, for instance, I have it here. If I select this, I have it here. Very good. So now I go back to the other script. I copy it again. I go back here, put this one. Now, what we need to do is some, so to check, yeah? So this is one of the checks, right? So we're gonna put this in a display folder, which is gonna be checks, business logic, yeah, I don't know. Now we can go also to the errors, and we have checks. This is already done for us, very good. Sales data errors, and for the, I don't know if we have anything else. our referential integrity. Yeah, this one, we're gonna rename this one. Call it, oh wait, actually we can put measures in two display folders. I don't know if you know that. Just make sure that the checked one is the first one, right? Check, oh wait, no, wait, where is it? No, what we're gonna do is take both of this and say checks referential integrity. Okay, so now we get the same measures in two different display folders, and the macro should be able to pick this up. Very good. Now, and I think we need to, yeah, and also we need like a table to store everything. Yeah. Take the data load. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to create another table. Modeling, new table. Yeah, we're going to call this one, and we call this data quality. I don't know. Something like this. Very good. Oh, we lost that. Because we didn't save that. Okay, too bad. Let me do that again. Text referential integrity. Very good. Now we're going to save this just in case. And now for the data quality, now we can execute this script with having this selected. Yeah, it should work. Let's see. Oh, what is going on? Is the script hosting? No, Suspera. Why is this? Maybe I had some text selected. Yeah. Okay. Now it's already creating the dynamic measure calculation group. So it's asking me for the name. So I'll just go with the defaults. And then the name of the measure of the calculation. And so we get a calculation group, which is dynamic measure. You see, we have all the, this is something to be able to call the measures by name. Yeah, this is internal stuff. But anyway, so here we get also a total alert count. Yeah, which already uses like the general. So the alert count errors and the value. So it creates a bunch of measures, also showing like for each type of measures, what sort of problems we have. Yeah. So we save it back, and yeah, and now we have all this. Wait, maybe I did it in the wrong place, or I'm not sure now. But at least you saw the process. Yeah, because the other one, which is, yeah, the other is entitled, so I think I'm right. I'm fine. So here in the data quality, so for the description, for instance, we get the message errors. Oh, we get only these two ones. Sales, there's one, and for the, oh, what happened? Oh, because we didn't have the check deliveries versus sales in the display folder. I forgot that part. Okay, no big deal. We're gonna put this now. Display folder. It's gonna call checks business logic. Okay, we're gonna save this back just in case. And now we can rerun the script. It's gonna take care of deleting and recreating everything. Okay. Oh, the calculation group needs refreshing, of course. And still didn't pick it up for some reason. Oh, because I checks is wrong. I wrote checks wrong. Come on, Bernat. Checks. It was checked, right? Check again. Oh, and we didn't change it. Yeah, check referential integrity. Alrighty. dynamic measure and data quality. Okay, one more time. Okay, now we get it. And this, so we already find that, and we have this, and also we have the total alert value, which is telling you the total things that are going on. There are 5 things happening, 2, 1, and 2. Yeah. So we have already, I mean, we could build this nicely and have all these little tables. And then just one more thing. Yeah. So as a final splash, to create that button in the first page, what we need to do, yeah, so just to complete this, is like how are going to tell the user. Yeah. In my experience, I think it's a good thing to create a button that if everything is fine, the button is not there. But if there's something that needs attention, like some data problem, then pop, it shows in red, and only then it will bring the user to the data problems page. Yeah. So in order to do that, we need yet to open another script. But this one is very easy. I copied that from Patrick of GynaCube. Yeah, it's like he had it like for some notification and so on. All right, this is the place. Okay, and this is the file. Copy. So let me check if I have a better file to do this. Browse reports. Let's try with this one. Yeah. Time is running short. We're almost at the end. So basically what it will do is create all the measures I need for creating this dynamic button. Yeah. The button itself we need to create by hand because it's not possible to program the report layer as of today. Okay, reference layer. Okay, so we already have like a nice detailed page and we just want to create the button. Yeah. So here as well, we need a table to store. I like to put things in different tables. So if you want to hide it later, you just hide the table and everything will get hidden. So we'll call this table, I don't know, error button or something like that. Okay, so now we go to Power BI, we connect to this one. There it is. All right. Tables and error button. Okay. So now we go to the script. I don't know if I copied that. I copied again. And scripting. All these can be stored as custom actions. This also has like dynamic. Okay, here we need to, the only thing we need to do now, and data validation, yeah. Yeah, we need to select one measure that will contain the number of errors that we want to use. Yeah. Here in this case, we'll just use the alert value is always larger than the alert count. Yeah, because it will, if you have 3 items in one error, it will count 3. The alert count will count just 1. Yeah. So we select this one and we execute this one. Yeah. Wait, and select one measure. Wait. Okay, I created this, but the script will create it for us. Okay, in that case, then we do need the enable unsupported actions, but it's very safe. So even the Bravo extension is using it, so it's fine. Okay, navigation measures. Okay, let's call error button 2. Okay, and then it will ask for the names of all the measures that we're going to create, or even the pattern of the text that is going to be shown. And the background and the navigation, and there are the problems. This is the name of the sheet in which we have the detail, data problems. Okay, so the error button does, which is already hidden, you can see, already has all these measures to create our button. Yeah, this one is just like a Boolean because it's going to be used in many. So it's also like, oh, this is just for the color, but then the other ones is like, if there are data problems, use the color bat, otherwise be transparent, put the navigation. If there are data problems, bring the user to data problems, otherwise do nothing. On the text also as well. And that's about it. So we can go quickly and try to build this button. So I go here, insert buttons blank. Yeah, we're gonna put it over here. So, so for style, we're gonna use some text. And so here use a search for text button. Wait, what is happening? I didn't save the changes back or what? Yeah, I didn't save the changes. Okay, I get in the table this time, which is good. Calculated tables. Wait, let me refresh this first. Okay, so now we go back here. Text. Okay, button text, very good. Okay, there are 10 data problems, which is good. And now we go down, and for the fill, we're also gonna use a measure, which is a fill value, and then your button background. Okay, we already got the red thing. For the text, maybe we wanna go with something else, like color white. I have no idea. This can be, I don't worry about this. And important is to the action. Yeah, we need to put an action to this button, which is going to be page navigation. And the destination, it's going to be whatever the measure says. Yeah, so we go to button navigation. And we already have all three of them. Okay. So now this will bring us to the other table. Opa, why not? Because it's called page 2 in this case. Okay, we call this the problems. Make it work. Okay, now this is working. We would add here probably a go back button as well. And to prove that is working, where is it? Data validation. Yeah, so this we use this one, total errors value. If I now go here and say, no, actually, this is 0, yeah? And I comment the rest. You see the button, this, oh, I still have a border. Okay, so style, where is it? This one, border, no border. And so the icon pretty much disappears. And even if I click there, I don't go anywhere. Yeah. So this is to prove that in case there are no errors, your button will be invisible, which is good, I think. So anyway, now the errors are there. And we jump and we can see what are the errors. So we have 2 orders using an unauthorized back ID, and also the errors from the files and from the data itself, 3 from referential integrity, and even also from Apple deliveries. Also, there are some stuff that is not allowed. Yeah. And that's pretty much my presentation. Yeah. So you saw different scripts that can allow you to, well, at least to build a way to show potential problems that your data has. Of course, part of this is not possible to do if you really don't have the errors. Yeah. So if you really want to build something robust, maybe at the beginning you can like mess with your data, even like inside Power Query, like change some values or whatever, and then so that you can catch them later and make all of this beautiful page and so on, and then just clean everything. And if ever there's some of these errors again, then it will show up in your sheet, and especially in your button telling you about it. Of course, you can connect some alarm with this and so on. So if after a refresh, this number is already going above 0, then it can send you already a notification so you can quickly go and find the culprit and who can fix it. Yeah, how is this? I don't know. I haven't checked the chat or anything. I don't know if there are any questions. How can I answer them. Oh, so much talking. Was it clear? Was it too fast? A bit fast, I guess, yeah. But
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
yes.
Yeah. I think first of all, you did an amazing work. Good. Thank you so much for putting this together, right? You do have, I think, I'm not sure you do have questions. The question most likely related if
Block
the
links. There you go.
yes.
I can do that. Okay.
So this is
Here's the block. Wait a minute. Done. Also, I'll share my Twitter profile page.
that would be great.
Where is it? Here. Okay. Well, I'm glad that people are liking it. And yeah, I recommend you to go through the blog so you can check, because I mean, you can also go straight into GitHub, but the might be a bit confusing. So
Can you repeat the blog name so this way people who's watching the recorded version can reach out to you as well? Or do you have a slide that have all this information? You can share it on the screen.
yeah, I have, wait. Here I just have my Twitter handle and my blog, but I think that if you get there, then you can have pretty much
No,
anything.
perfect.
Well, I'm glad it came out. I think
think
the most important part is probably the Power Query part, because this affects really your refresh. If you don't do it this way, it can break. And also, if you're lucky, it will break, because sometimes you don't know there's something wrong there. So I would really recommend, if you have to implement just one thing, would be the Power Query part. Yeah, unless you are getting everything out of a data warehouse or something like this, which you are very lucky. If you're not, then I would really recommend to put some safeguards inside your Power Query so that you can at least make sure that it loads, and make sure that everything that is not loaded, then well, will get addressed somehow. Yeah? So at least you know about it and what is it, and you can easily debug what is going on.
Yeah, I think if there are no more questions, I'll be happy to end our today's webinar here, unless if Bernard have something to say.
Yeah? Anything, just let me know.
Well,